Hello. There we go. We're all set up on Facebook.
Hello, my friends. Welcome. Episode 21. Time is 9 p.m. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday. Happy brand new week. What I always like to tell people, I tell this to my clients all the time on a Monday. It doesn't matter how your past week has been, because every Monday is a brand new opportunity to start the week, right? So you wipe the slate clean. Doesn't matter if you didn't get your workouts in. It's a Monday is always a great start. People used to say they hate Mondays, but you can always flip it and look at the bright side of things. It's a brand new week. It's a brand new episode. We have a whole bunch of things that we're gonna share with you. As always, we put a lot of effort to plan these episodes so that we don't miss out on anything, and we've got some prizes and some goodies. First thing I want to ask you is that to just let us know where you are tuning in from. We have a very international crowd at times. We've got friends from all over, colleagues tuning in and supporting us. So to all of you watching this, whether on Instagram or on Facebook, just comment below. Number one, where are you streaming and tuning in from? And number two, comment what is that one thing that you cannot leave home without. Okay, you can't say keys, you can't say your phone, and you can't say, what's the other thing? Your wallet. Okay, wallet, keys, and phone. Other than that, what is that one thing you just can't leave home without? So comment that below. I'd love to know. For me, it will be my earphones or my headphones, because if I'm heading out, I'm walking somewhere, or I want to, if I'm sitting in a Grab and I will be listening to something and distracting myself. So I always have my headphones or earphones with me. What about you, Alvin? What is that one thing you can't leave home without?
I'm going to say water bottle. I like to carry my water bottle everywhere I go. Yeah, so just in case that I'm thirsty, I always have something to drink. That also avoid me from ordering too many cups of coffee. Or something else, huh?
Yeah, and that's great. So it's in like I have my water bottle with me, but I need to remember to bring it. So that's another thing. So just a quick recap. Welcome everybody to episode 21. We're doing a little icebreaker, which is to tell us where you are tuning in from and what is that one thing you can't live without. Hello, all my friends on Instagram and on Facebook. Amanda says Amanda's from Malaysia, and what's the one thing she can't live without is her lip balm. That's right, lip balm. I don't have lip balm. Well, I leave it at home. Welcome, Penny. Penny never leaves home without wet tissue. Comes in very handy. That's very, very true. A lot of people today earlier I was asking a bunch of my friends also. A lot of them say can't leave home without sanitizer nowadays, and it's better to carry your own because it's gonna be better on your skin because you know you're gonna buy a better sanitizer. Welcome, Jonah. Welcome, Mel1609. Welcome, M XX. Ruth Christian says she never leaves the same as you, Alvin. Like she makes sure she has a water bottle with her. We also have Achozo from Malaysia. Can't leave home without earbuds. So great, you are my gang. So is there anyone who's commenting anything on Facebook about what they can't leave home without?
None at the moment. So we have Instagram coming in. We'll let the flow go.
Yep. Great. So over to you, Alvin. What do we have in store in today's episode?
So before we begin our first segment, I'd like to welcome everyone here on Facebook and on Instagram to episode 21. We are into the 2-digit right now of questions you may be too shy to ask your trainer. So Noel and I are here to be of your service. We invite you to ask any questions about nutrition, training, lifestyle, habits. We are here to help you. Questions that we can't answer, we're going to find the next possible solution and pin you there. The goal here is to lead you closer to your fitness goal. So how to ask questions on Facebook? You just have to comment the questions in the comment section. On Instagram, you post your question with the little question mark sign next to the comment. Noel able to pin your question up for everyone. Okay, if you have asked the question, we have prepared a gift for you. Noel, would you like to share the gift that we have for everyone?
That's right. So to all of those asking questions today, we're going to remember who you are, and you're going to reach out to us and claim these gifts. But I'm giving away free access, free classes in my virtual program. So at Daily Muscle, we currently run about 30 live stream classes per week, and you get full access to the classes of your choice. Come in, have a workout on me, or have 2 workouts on me, and that will be my gift to you just for asking a question. You can ask on Instagram, you can ask on Facebook. It works for both. And Alvin's got some really cool stuff to give you.
Yeah, I have online courses in terms of nutrition, training, warm-up. So ask the questions and reach out to us which course or classes you are interested in, and we'll straight away hook you up with. All right, I'm going to begin our live with our first segment, and this segment is called Discovery of the Week. And it's something very interesting that if you've been with us for a couple of weeks, you know that we always will start with Discovery of the Week, something that Noel and I discover, or it somewhat reappear back to us or hit us up. Please share this on live on Monday. So I'm going to share a story. My discovery of the week is the story of you only get better. When we do something, as we keep on doing it consistently, it only going to make us better at it. And this hits me hard because I haven't been seeing some of my clients virtually, of course, physically not, for some time. So they've been going through their home workouts. And one of these clients was doing run consistently around her residential area. And she on and off update me every 2-3 weeks saying, Alvin, I did my run. This is my pace. This is how I feel. So a few days ago, she texted me, said, Alvin, I did 11 km. I realized that I got no knee pain. I run better. And I asked her, what cause of, why do you think that happens? And she said, because I've been running every week and I'm actually sticking to it. I'm actually putting my heart and soul and focus into my run, and therefore I get better. And I'm like, yes, everything we do in life, whether it's fitness or in career, if we do it consistently, and if we put our heart, soul, and attention and focus into it, you will only get better. Just like running, and I believe in everything also we do, consistency is only going to lead to improvements. So that's my discovery of the week, with a little story and message that you only get better each time you keep doing it.
Great, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Alvin. You always have an inspirational story. Mine's not so much of a story. This is, at first I thought this would be my show and tell. This is actually my discovery of the week because I discovered it this week. I'm the one who always brings food to the show. See? I think this is how you pronounce it, but it's chitose tomatoes. It's a Japanese word. I'm going to show it here to you. And I eat tomatoes quite often, but this blew me away. So I was shopping in a supermarket. This was yesterday. I bought this yesterday, right? And it's supposed to be a new kind of tomato, well, new in Malaysia, which is normally grown in Japan. So there's a farm in Cameron Highlands where there are Japanese farmers who come to Cameron Highlands, and they are the ones doing the gardening. So it's really like the only thing that's different is growing in Malaysia. So it's a new kind of tomato. It's either some sort of crossbreed or it's a Japanese variety where it doesn't taste like a normal tomato. So when the person told me is that you should try it, it's like it's good for kids because it's not sour. It doesn't have all these things. So then I was really curious, and actually gave a little sample. And I ate the sample later on, but I bought it first just to support them. But it's like I wasn't going to pick up my mask and eat a tomato. And what if I don't like it? What am I going to tell them? Sorry, I don't like it, so I'm not going to buy it. So that's me. I'll buy it first, and I took the sample and I had it later. But then I went to the car and I had it. It blew me away. I was surprised because she was right. It doesn't taste like a normal tomato. It doesn't taste sour at all. It almost tastes like it could be a little bit of a grape that wasn't very sweet. Completely different texture. Here, I'll take it out, but I'm not gonna. Of course, you can't taste it. You can see I haven't opened it yet. But it is expensive. It's about double the price of what these tomatoes would cost, because a normal packet of cherry tomatoes would be like, I think, about 3-4 ringgit. But these are perfectly round. You see that? It's almost like they're photoshopped, but it's not. And it's perfectly round. It's very firm texture, and when you bite it, it literally just pops and explodes in your mouth. But the most fascinating thing was the taste. always thought I knew how tomatoes would taste. You know how cherry tomatoes would taste. Sometimes they're very sour, sometimes they're not ripe. It's like a hit or miss, right? But this is like everyone, it's like it looks like a perfect tomato, and it doesn't taste like a perfect, it doesn't taste like a normal tomato. So you can look this up. It's called the Chitose tomato. I'll put a link in the Facebook version of this later. It's currently being sold in a couple of supermarkets, but it's actually grown in Cameron Highlands. So it's not coming from Japan, so you're not paying an exorbitant price, but it is double the price. It is and it's grown by Japanese farmers. So that's my discovery of the week. It made me excited again about tomatoes. Put it that way. Otherwise, sometimes I'll buy it, but then I'll buy it. Sometimes I don't eat it. This one I bought it, and I'm like, great, I'm going to eat it. So if you're kind of grown far apart from eating tomatoes and you're looking for something a little different, then I encourage you to try it, because it's not like it's like 30-40 ringgit. It's 8 ringgit. It's still okay. And it's I don't know whether you should be cooking it, but it tastes great just on its own. So that is my discovery of the week.
Wow. So interesting that you shared tomato, because lately on Instagram, I'm seeing tomatoes recipe, especially like I know one of our viewer, Kylie, she's been posting tomato with egg recipes. So I'm getting a lot of tomatoes, and so happened Noel's discovery of the week is tomatoes. I like how the universe somewhat connects to everything.
Yeah, and it's the lockdown, so everyone's sitting at home and they're cooking. Everyone's buying vegetables, and it's more accessible. But yeah, that's right.
Right. So for all of you who are watching, comment below if you like tomato, or if you have any tomato recipes. Since Noel have tomato, share with us if you like tomato, if you have any tomato recipes. So that is our discovery of the week. I'm going to move on to our next segment. As you can see, it changes above on Facebook, which is Q&A. So we invite you to post any questions in the comment section. We have questions that have sent to us over the week, and we're going to straight away dive into it.
Sure.
So our first question here is on Facebook. Why do I feel more energetic and focused during my workout as I fast before? So this is a Facebook user. So he's asking why he feels more energetic more energetic for his workout, as he didn't have any meals before.
So on an empty stomach. On an
empty stomach, that's right.
And they feel like they have more energy. Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Right. Perhaps I'll start with this first, Noah. So in my opinion, our blood or sugar glucose level tend to rise up after a meal. So for example, perhaps we can relate to this when we have a heavy lunch, and then after a while we tend to feel sleepy, especially we eat a lot of simple carbohydrates, for example, like white rice or anything that is sugary. So what happens is our blood sugar or glucose level rise, and then because of the simple carbs, and then it tends to drop down quickly. Hence, we're feeling like sleepy. So if you are fasting before your workouts, your glucose levels tend to stabilize or being stable because there's no interruption. So that, in my opinion, is one of the many factors why you tend to have more energy before a workout. But once again, fasting before workouts depends on so many things. It depends on your genetic, your fasting schedule, the type of exercise you're going to do, and also your recovery rate. Oftentimes people think that, because I fast and then I go workout, I tend to burn more fat. That's not so true. Oftentimes when we fast and we don't have proper meals prior to that, during our workout, we don't necessarily have the desired energy, or we will not be at our peak energy or performance level for our workout. That's why you don't see so many athletes fasting before their competition. No, because our body preferred source of energy is still carbohydrates. Okay, so once again, to sum up that question, that could be, in my opinion, one of the reasons why you tend to feel more energetic before a workout. Anything you'd like to add on to this, Noel?
Yeah, usually people who are fasting drink a lot of coffee, so maybe it's the coffee, maybe it's the caffeine, right? Because I don't think they're really empty, but in terms of maybe you didn't eat. Also, sometimes if you you're not distracted. Sometimes when you eat something, if you have a very heavy meal, actually your digestive system is working to digest the meal, and digestion actually takes a lot of resources from your body for that process. So that's why they say don't eat and train right away, right? And then again, it also goes like Alvin gave an example just now, where like you're not going to find an athlete who's going to fast and not eat and then go and play their sport, because it which is true, because it's their goals, right? If you have a performance goal, if you like are competing in the Olympics, I'm sure nutrition wise they are fully loaded and ready to go. They're not going to fast and all of that, because they want all the energy that they can get. So, and then some people want to lose weight and you don't have a performance goal. Maybe you're going to go out for a 45-minute walk and you don't have a performance goal, so it's okay to fast. So I think it really also depends on that person, what they're doing it for, and the fact that you have an empty stomach and being able to focus on your food, and that you don't have all the liquids slushing around, may help you to focus, and maybe therefore you feel what you're really saying is that you'll find yourself more focused during that workout, and it just gives the hunger, kind of gives you like an edge. I think it's really more of that rather than just being extra energetic, and it's the coffee. That's probably what it is. Yeah, so that's what I would add on to what Alvin has already said.
Do you have any questions on Instagram?
There is, and for some strange reason, I can't see what the question is. It's showing me a blank screen, but that's okay. I think I can still display it. Hang on, I'm just gonna. There we go. Is it showing? Is it?
Yes,
true?
it is.
There we go. We're talking about coffee, but I can't read the whole question. I mean, do you see the whole thing appear? Oh no, I can now. Okay, great. Okay, is it true that black coffee can increase your metabolism, and drinking? We were just talking about this, and drinking a cup of it before a workout can help to burn more calories. You want to answer this, Alvin, or shall I take it?
You can go ahead first as I tap the control onto Facebook.
Okay, so I'll just repeat the question again. Is it true that black coffee can increase your metabolism, and drinking a cup of it before a workout can help to burn more calories? This comes from Amanda. Amanda, actually, it is true, because there is research that shows that your body burns more fat. Caffeine can help, not necessarily coffee. Okay, so caffeine can help, number one, give you a performance enhancement. That means you might actually be able to run a little faster, train a little longer, train a little harder. Now, how much more depends on probably how much caffeine that you have. But they have done studies. I don't know the exact study. I can go back and pull out the studies and probably add on to this conversation. But yes, it does. That's why you see many people have a cup of coffee and they go and do off their own thing. You don't necessarily need to buy a pre-workout supplement, because coffee can give you a bit of that kick. Coffee is also a known appetite suppressant. So that means having a cup of, and when I say coffee, I'm talking about black coffee again, not the stuff with the whipped cream and all of that. That's not coffee, that's dessert. All right, so coffee means it's just black coffee. So coffee can also help suppress your appetite to a certain extent. So you will find that people who are doing things like intermittent fasting tend to drink a lot of coffee, because it keeps the hunger away. So I hope I kind of answered your question, because yes, it's true to a certain extent, because it's a stimulant, right? There are many stimulants. Coffee is one that's very easily accessible and it's cheap. So yes, if it's going to stimulate your body for training, that's increasing your metabolism, and there is research to show that when caffeine can help you burn more fat, and it's going to also by helping you train harder, train longer. How much is the effective dose of caffeine? Again, probably the research will have those exact amounts, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 1 cup of coffee. A standard cup of black coffee has about 80 milligrams of caffeine. That's that one espresso shot. The little tiny cup that an espresso is concentrated, right? So that has about 80 milligrams of coffee. If you go to a Starbucks and have a really large Americano with extra shots, that could be easily 4, 5, 6 shots, which is a lot, right? So, and the thing about caffeine also is that it's one of those things where the more you consume and the more regularly you consume it, you actually kind of get desensitized to it. That means it doesn't have its effect anymore. And the way to overcome that is to actually get off caffeine for a few weeks and then get back on it. So I hope I gave you a bit of insight about caffeine. I think it's great. It's accessible. It's super cheap, and it's going to give you that edge and keep you alert, and give you a little bit of advantage by training longer and training harder. I think it's no harm including some caffeine or coffee. You can get caffeine from tea as well. There are certain teas that have more, right? There are herbal teas, tea infusions that can also give you caffeine. So remember, it doesn't have to be coffee. It can be any caffeine source. And if you look at pre-workouts that they sell, they usually it's a combination of synthetic caffeine, different kinds of stimulants, all just to give you that similar effect. So I hope that helps you. I hope that shed a bit of light to your question. Is there something you want to add about
Right.
coffee?
Yeah, I think what Noel said, everything was spot on. I'd just like to add on that the impact of it is very insignificant to total calorie burns, because a lot of people
Yes.
have the idea that I'm going to drink coffee and that will lead me to burn more calories. So research has shown, yes, you are going to burn more calories, perhaps extra 20, 30,
Yeah.
40 calories in your workout, or perhaps throughout the day with just 2 to 3 cups of coffee. So you must take the amount into a bigger picture and see how that actually may or may not help you in your total calorie consumption in a day. And also to do note that, drinking a lot of coffee, because research says coffee burns calories. So the more I drink, the more calories I burn. You want to take into account how it affects you throughout the day. Does it keeps you awake, affect your sleeping schedule? Very, very important. And my invitation, perhaps sharing my experience on how I approach caffeine, is mainly to use caffeine to boost my alertness for my workout. And I try my best not to depend on it solely, meaning that I don't need caffeine before every workout. And if one day I don't have my caffeine, oh my gosh, my workout is going to be crappy. So I rely to have more energy coming, making sure that I have proper meal, proper rest,
Yeah.
recovery, proper warm up. That is the best long-term solution any pre-workout or caffeine can offer you. So just keep that at the back of your toolbox.
Yeah, I have a coffee story I want to share. I'm volunteering this story. You want to interesting because we're talking of all the days today. Must talk about coffee. So I decided to do this yesterday, and I'll show you all the outcome after my little experiment. Okay, so I'm going to stop drinking coffee for a week. I already started it this morning. So no coffee, but I substituted it with tea. Actually, no, today is day 2. I started it yesterday. No coffee yesterday. No coffee today as well. I'm drinking something else. If you're following me on Instagram, you'd see me brewing the tea and all of that. And that tea has a bit of caffeine, but I'm stopping coffee because I read all kinds of stuff, right? And I'm very curious, and I'll try anything. So I saw this before and after comparison of this guy who just stopped drinking coffee and he switched to tea for 1 week, and he took a photo of his face and took another photo in the exact same lighting, changed nothing about his diet and training. The only thing he did was stop his early morning coffee. And you could see the change in his face. I don't know how people are saying that maybe it's the inflammation, maybe there's mold in the coffee, which is actually a very common thing. Go and Google mold in the coffee. It's like everywhere. But so people are saying that actually the body reacts. And the after photo was just 7 days apart, 7 days. And his eyes look brighter. His dark rings had gone. He looks just healthier. Just looking at the before and after photo of his face, it's just like, this is a much healthier person. So I was like, what? So, and I would try anything once. I'm going to try it. I already took the before photo yesterday already. I've got that all set. So I'm going to, no coffee for the next week. And yeah, I'll post you all maybe next week on Monday. I can share if the experiment was
Discovery
successful.
of the week next week, Noel. We have you for
Discovery
it.
of the week. 1 week without coffee. What does it do to you? But to be fair, I'm substituting it with a special tea. It's a herbal tea, which actually has a comparable amount of caffeine. It's just that it's not coffee and it's tea. So I still get the kick that I want in the morning. But and to be honest, I don't miss the coffee. So it made me realize one thing, Alvin. It's just been a routine. Early morning, I get up, I want to drink something hot, and it just happened to be coffee. And in the afternoon, I'm reaching for something. It's out of habit, not because I need the coffee. So now I just swap it with the tea. So it made me think about how sometimes we reach for something even though we don't need it. And we eat certain things because it's just out of routine and just because it's there. And if you put an intentional effort to make a change, actually you can. Yeah, so that's it. A little bit of sharing. Wasn't planned for today, but yeah.
Beautiful sharing. I think we'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
So I believe we have more questions coming in from Instagram. Would you like to pin one up?
Yes, I have one that came in earlier, so I can't answer this very well, but maybe you can, Elvin. But because she asked this question, I am going to post it. It comes from Ruth Krish. She says she's on a diet. She counts and tracks her macros, but she's anemic. Okay, so she knows that she is anemic. Anemic basically means not enough iron to transport the oxygen in your blood throughout your body. All right. And each time after she works out, she feels dizzy. What do I do? Is there certain types of foods that I should and should not take? So again, this is kind of out of scope of practice for me. So I can tell you a little bit that first things first, if it's really bothering you to the point where you're like dizzy, you feel like you can't continue with your training, the first place you should go is to seek some medical advice from your doctor, because maybe you need some sort of medication or supplementation to help with your anemia. If you're already doing that, then again, you could still go back to your doctor and tell him that I'm training and this is what I'm feeling. So that should be where your first point of advice comes from. On my side, what I can tell you is that yes, your diet does play a role. I don't think it's about foods that you should avoid, but just making sure that your food, your food intake is complete. It has all the colors of the spectrum. That means you got your vegetables and you're not just eating overly processed foods. Iron-rich foods are things like meats, like red meats, liver. I believe even salmon has a higher iron content. Dried fruits, and even some cereals and granola because they're fortified.
All right.
But yes, so look at iron-rich foods because you want to make sure that maybe there's certain things that you're avoiding that other people eat and then you don't, right? That could be one thing as well. So that would be my advice for you. I'm not going to go any deeper simply because I'm just really, now I'll be starting to make guesses. From what I know is that just make sure your diet's healthy enough. And the first thing that you should do is go seek some sort of medical help first, because maybe all it takes is just some iron pills and problem solved, right? So I don't know if you have already seen a doctor, but I hope that helps, Ruth. Yes, that's one question.
I'm just going to add on.
Yes, please,
I'm just going to add on to Ruth that, on another point of view, also be more aware of the type of workout you're doing, because you said that this is after your workout. You want to make sure that the intensity of the workout is catered to your fitness level, and you want to make sure that you adjust that accordingly. See a doctor and then readjust, reassess, and see how that goes. So that would be our advice to you.
Yeah, I have another question. Another question was from Eunice, is asking, what kind of tea are you substituting to coffee? It's actually called, I'll post it in the Facebook section, okay? But I bought it from iHerb, and it's actually some tea from the Amazons, and it's not matcha green tea. It's something very bizarre. But yeah, I'll share that later. So great. Okay, moving on.
Okay,
Do we have questions? Yes.
Yes, I'm going to take one question on Facebook, and then we're going to move to our next segment. So this is from Amanda, and Amanda asks, what's the best way to break through a plateau in weight loss? So we have a plateau which you stuck, you can't be losing any weight. What's the best way to go about it? I'm going to have this, Noel, first, and then you can chip in your insight. The best way to break through a plateau would be to re-evaluate your current core habits. So your core habits are like drinking enough water, getting enough steps, working out consistently. How's your sleep? Are you eating according to your hand size portion? Are your meals balanced? When you can refine that into a next level, that would push you further. Let me give you an example. For example, looking through your meals. You're like, Alvin, I'm already eating protein at each meal. So the next step is to perhaps, are you rotating your protein? Rotation of protein, carbs, healthy fats is going to give you different vitamins, minerals. changing up colorful wage tables colors is going to give you different nutrients. So that would be the next steps. Another example could be training. What sort of training are you doing? Are you doing the same thing? Are you progressing in your weight training? Do you have the strength element, the cardio element? And apply this next level into the basic foundation, which is the core habits like sleeping, water. Are you drinking enough water? And you find yourself breaking through many plateaus. And this is one of the advice that I share with clients. They're like, Alvin, I can't lose fat. What can I do? What secret potion? What special exercise? Those are all very external. I always would invite clients, and I'm inviting you to focus that is internal. What more can you do for your nutrition? What next steps can you break down in your training? And when you can constantly break down, you find your body constantly changing and growing, and that would just supercharge you closer to your fitness goal.
Great.
Anything to add on to that, Noah?
Yeah, I will just say that if you want to change, if you want something to change, you have to change something, right? So if you're not making progress, you got to change. You can't be doing the same thing and suddenly expect the result to be different. So all those changes are like what Alvin said. Those are things that you can look into. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to add.
And begin the first step of searching and exploring within. Oftentimes we tend to look for external. That's what social media said, DNA circle, because it's appearing on my Facebook. Maybe that's going to break my plateau in fat loss. I invite you to look internal, because when you look deep within yourself, you realize that so much more can be done. And it is hard, looking into yourself and say, I need to sleep early, because I know that 7 hours of sleep is the recommendation hour that we all need, and working on it. But you're actually doing it. That is the one that are the bigger picture. They're going to bring you so much more closer to any fitness goal. So that's me in advising look within. All right, I'm going to change the little banner on the top of Facebook. So in your Facebook, you're going to see the change happening right now. And that is moving on to our next segment. We invite you to constantly post your question on Facebook and Instagram. This segment is called Show and Tell, where Noel and I are going to show you something and tell a story about it. So Noel, What is your show and tell for today?
Yeah, it's not food, everybody. Relax. I'm gonna show you food. Food and tea and coffee, right? See, that's me. I'm gonna show you a blank card. It's a blank card. It's a little greeting card. And it's a blank one. That means you can send it out and say anything. It can be a thank you card. It can be congratulations. It can be well done, happy 1 year anniversary of training at the gym. I show you this blank card because this is something that we at Daily Muscle do, Kim and I do, for our clients. And we regularly send out cards. We regularly send out little gifts that have nothing to do with their losing weight, like, you lost 10 kgs, I'm going to send you a congratulations card. No, we sometimes randomly send these cards, and I'm sharing this as a show and tell, because this is something that all of us can do. And why do it? Because when's the last time you ever got a physical card? Not an e-card, not a WhatsApp, not a text message or an email, but an actual card that just gives someone a word of encouragement. We send things out like when someone joins the gym, they purchase a subscription, they get a card from us saying, congratulations, we're so glad you chose us to do your fitness journey with. And what that does is, and there's no bribe, there's nothing inside. Sometimes it's just a thank you card. What that does is it just gives them that motivational push, because we all need encouragement, we all need support. And in this time and age, the last 1.5 years, where there's less face-to-face interaction, everything's online, remember to take some time out to just send an encouraging word. You can do that to anyone. You don't need to send it to a client. You don't need to send it to family. Like anyone you feel that you're on your feed, you're scrolling, your friends on Instagram, you see that they're down and having a bad day, just pick up a pen and a card. You can buy these like in boxes of 20, 30 cards. Just stick on a stamp. The post office is still running, although it's locked down. And send that over to them, because you just have no idea the impact that this can leave on them. And we've actually been doing this for many years. I have clients who still keep their very first card from like 10 years ago. It's incredible. Once I had a client send me a photo, look at all the cards, and like 10 years ago, and she pasted each one on the fridge. Sometimes we put a little magnet at the back so that they can stick it. So my show and tell is not just showing a card, but my show and tell is really that I want to show you that you can take a piece of paper or a card and send it out to someone and brighten their day and motivate them and encourage them. So that's my little show and tell today, and I hope you had some takeaways from that.
Oh, I love that, Noel. And I think that's what makes you a great person, a great leader, a great trainer. And that is something actually I do during festive seasons, a handwritten card given to clients. And to all fitness professionals out there, I leave you with this. Handwritten cards are really, really powerful. And Noel, you've been doing it for years already, because it brings down to this quote that I will always remember. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You can be the most brilliant trainer, but just during training and after training, oh, this is just a client. People value connection. They want to know that you care. So if you're a fitness professional, this is the time to write a card, send out to your classes, to your clients, and that's going to make a big difference. Okay, give it a try. So thank you so much for sharing that, Noel.
Yeah, what do you have for us?
Those of you, I just want to say this one, then I go to that. Those of you who have asked a question, Noel is going to send you a card, perhaps with Lululemon's voucher. Yeah. Full stop.
Too expensive. And then I'll need the address, and then that's called stalking. So no.
We are going to give you the address with the question.
Sure. If you send me your address, I'll send you a card. How about that? DM me your address. I'll send you a card. Yeah.
Okay, let's all do it. Okay, my show and tell is this. What? This is a water bottle. Okay, water bottle is something that I carry with me, as I share with you, wherever I go. And it's something that I advise most, or in fact, all of my clients to have a water bottle with them, because daily recommendation, we need about 2.5 to 3.5 of liter for male and female, male on the higher end, a day. And having a water bottle is serves as a reminder, like, how much water I have drank, how much water I need to drink to hit my target. And it's very, very convenient, because sometimes we tend to forget as the day goes by. Oh, I forgot to drink water, and then we'll start drinking a lot. But having a water bottle is like a reminder. And we need these sorts of reminders in our life to keep us on track. So water, very important, water bottle as a reminder. Having all these reminders is going to make sure that we do what we are supposed to do. So when you see the water bottle, or when I see my water bottle, it reminds me, okay, Alvin, I need to finish this by end of the day to hit my target. And when I hit it, I get that little satisfaction. It's like, yes, that little win with just water. And if I can have that with other areas, I'm on the journey to success. So I invite you to, I'm sure we all have a water bottle, to have a water bottle, hold it. This is your reminder, know it, see it, and try to achieve these little wins, because little wins is going to lead to bigger success. So that is my show and tell with water bottle.
Great.
Right.
Awesome. So we talked about coffee, we talked about water, we talked about tea. What's next?
So next, we're going to go back to our question and answer segment.
Some questions.
We have some questions. Would you like to take? Shall we take one from Instagram, and then we'll move on to Facebook?
So this question comes from Molly Sue 19. How do I track macros and micros? That's question one. Let's take that question first. So, well, you track it really by you have to measure your food, and the simple answer is that, for example, if you're having a piece of chicken and it's a drumstick and you roasted it, Basically, you just need to weigh it on a food scale, and then you need to go and look up the values, right? You can actually, Google has a USDA database that is pretty accurate, right? And you don't need a special book or encyclopedia that's all about food. All the information is online, and I would recommend going Google and checking it, because sometimes if you use something like MyFitnessPal, there are multiple chicken drumstick, chicken drumstick, chicken drumstick. It's all, notice the macros are different because not all the information in the app is verified. So the apps do have a verified item as well. Sometimes you will see it with a tick, then it's safe to use. But basically, the food item, you have to weigh it. That's the only way to know exactly how much is inside. What you can't do is just go and buy something randomly and go on the app and randomly choosing, because you don't know how much it weighs, right? So it's very important that many people I've worked with, they miss that step of weighing the food because don't know where I bought a chicken drumstick, it's from a bigger chicken. The restaurant may be using a smaller chicken. They may use more sugar in their recipe. They may use more oil. So it's all different. So if you want full 100% control of exactly what's inside, you have to cook your own food because you know exactly what goes inside, or you have to weigh it. Or of course, if you buy something that comes in a box or packaging, then it's listed behind, so you know exactly what's inside. That's macronutrients. Micronutrients, you probably can't measure it at home. You probably need to take it to a lab or something, because those are things like your vitamins, your minerals, your calcium, whatever is in there, and those are not usually easily measured. But again, with the apps, you can track because they roughly know how much is in 100 grams or whatever. So that's the answer to your first question. The second question was...
Can I add on to that,
yes,
Noel?
yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing that I used to do when I was really, really particular, but this is time consuming, is that I create an Excel sheet. All the food that I eat on a daily basis, I spend a period of time looking for their macros and micros through Google, through MyFitnessPal, and then I write it down on the Excel sheet. So I know everything deep down to the milligram of potassium in a sweet potato. And with all of that, I use the Excel sheet to then draft out my diet. So that gives me complete awareness and control of my macros and micros. It's going to take some time, but that will give you a rough understanding on how to do it with the help of an Excel sheet.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, basically.
It is.
So I think no harm doing it. I think it teaches you a lot about understanding what you're eating, but you don't need to do live eating. Fitness doesn't mean that you need to be calculating your macros all the while. A little bit of it is fine, just for awareness, but you don't have to do it all the time. Your next question was completely different. You're asking, due to the MCO, to my friends not from Malaysia watching, the MCO is our current lockdown quarantine situation. She's saying that I ended up having this habit of needing something dark chocolate, 70% and above. How to stop? Well, firstly, I would just like to say that there's no foods that are off limits. You can always find a way to fit it into your routine, right? And if you're saying that it's dark chocolate, that's 70% chocolate and above, that's usually very little sugar in there and more of the actual cocoa solids in there. So that's definitely a healthier choice of chocolate. I think it's totally fine, because how much only are you eating? Are you eating the whole bar? Then that's a different problem. But if you're just having a little piece every time, I really think it's fine to include in your diet. So don't beat yourself up over it. It's nothing bad that you need to stop. Food isn't evil. It's just how you eat it, right? Because if you take that little piece of chocolate and you dip in, you shredding it over ice cream, then that's something altogether different, right? But this is just chocolate. I think it's completely fine. If there's a reason why you want to stop it, maybe because you once you start, you can't stop, then it's just one of those things, like, just limiting how much you purchase, limiting where you put it, right? Out of sight, out of mind. If it's in the fridge right there in front of you at eye level, you're going to eat lots of it. So think about those things as well. And I hope that helps.
And perhaps also add on a substitute. So if you prepare yourself fruits, and when you see the fruits, you will tend to, have to eat the fruit. So when you eat the fruit, you don't feel like eating chocolates.
Yeah. So having something on standby, which is true. Like how I took away my coffee, but if I did not have the tea, it's gonna go downhill. So if you're gonna take that chocolate away, make sure you have something else that you can just munch on, so that your brain also gets the signal that, hey, it's still life is still going on as usual. Awesome. Great question. I hope that helps. Keep your questions coming, my friend, on Instagram or on Facebook. We still have more coming in, but we're going to ask
Right.
Alvin
So
whether does he have anything here.
yes, so we have a question here on Facebook that is addressed to Noel. Is it safe for gym to reopen now in Malaysia?
Tricky question because a great question. Thank you for asking that. And a lot of gym owners are fighting for the gyms to open. Here's what I believe. I think it's actually pretty safe because gyms have very high SOP standards. I think most gyms are exceeding what is required by the government, and paying attention to things like ventilation. The restaurants mostly don't do that, right? Because it's not required. So I feel that gyms have a very a strict level of sticking to the operating standard operating procedures laid out by the government, so it's safe. But what's not safe is, so the gym is safe, yeah. The gym on its own, people going in and out, I think it can be done very safely. But what's not safe is that during this time of lockdown, where there's so many cases, COVID cases right now, I think it's just best that people limit the movement, right? Stay at home unless you absolutely need to come out. And having to go to the gym is just another reason to come out because there's other things that you can do in terms of working out. So I feel that at the moment, with the current number of cases, I'm probably the only gym owner who's just saying, because everyone's fighting for the gyms to open. Because we run group classes, maybe very different if you're running a personal training studio where it's just one-on-one, right? So that by all means go right ahead, because I think it's super safe. By the way, we're still not allowed to do that. But we run group classes, and there's going to be interaction and people coming in that same room together. So I think in that sense, it's not safe because people are going to come and gather. They don't gather at the gym. They're going to gather outside. They're going to chit-chat with their friends. How can you prevent that from happening, right? So I think in terms of minimizing movement, it's best that people don't go now to the gyms. But are gyms safe? I think they are. They always have been. Just gyms have a reputation of being dirty, and some gyms can be. But dude, since some gyms you step inside and the whole place smells like what? I don't know, right? But I think since this whole COVID situation, all the gyms have just really upped how clean they keep their facilities, which is great. I speak on behalf of the gyms that I know, and the gyms that I've never been to, I wouldn't know. So yeah, so that's my answer for that question.
Fantastic. I'm going to leave it at there. I love all your points and I agree more. Do we have any questions from Instagram?
There's a question here. It's from Kim. It's a real question. It's a true story. She says, let's talk about Milo. That day at the grocer, she saw Milo with almond milk. I don't know whether you've seen this, Alvin. It's like Milo, like pre-mixed with almond milk. So Kim's question is, does it have lesser calories? I didn't check the label, so I'm not sure. But I have a feeling that it most likely will be about the same. If anything, I think that this option of Milo is just more, is friendly to vegans or people who are on a plant-based diet. So Milo has come up with a pre-made package drink that, you know how everyone says that the Milo from the packet is different from the Milo that you make at home. So Milo finally listened to everybody, and now they have something that's not just with milk like the normal ones. They also have something that's plant-based, and it might be the same amount of calories. It might be a little bit less. It might even be more. You just wouldn't know unless you compare labels. And even then, even if something is less calories, more calories, end of the day. Remember, I was answering the question just now about Molly's question about chocolates, and it's like there's no such thing as foods that are off limits. I think you could easily fit a little packet of Milo into your routine. I know there's a lot of campaigns out there that demonize Milo, and it's like, oh, it's the drink from the devil because it's got so much sugar. It's like there's sugar in all the other things that we're drinking as well, right? So yeah, I hope I answered that question. Yeah.
When you mention Milo, I can only think of one of our colleagues and mentor, Lawrence, who love Milo so much. Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
awesome.
We have a question here.
Yep.
And this is a very interesting question. It says, it's addressed to me. It said, Alvin, why your Instagram only have 1,400 followers, so little. So
Oh, is
this
that
was
it?
sent in to me. Yeah, this was sent in to me through Facebook, and I find it fascinating and a little bit funny. Uh, why is because you haven't followed me yet.
There
So the
you
more of
go.
you, the more of you follow me, that number would probably change over the next few days, over the next few weeks. Now, I just want to add on is that mm, followers and numbers are not the thing that I'm chasing. I think I'll speak for myself. Being a fitness professional, the goal here is not to be famous. Famous doesn't make me sleep happy at night. The goal as a fitness professional, or why am I become a trainer, is to help people. So social media, I feel, is a great tool for us to use it to educate the people around us on what is the right information, what we should be doing more, should be doing less of, and not so much of a tool to show ourselves. Or I mean, you can, but as a fitness professional, I see it as a mean to educate, and that's it, full stop. So doing that, I'm really, really happy. And I feel that I'm actually living a very ideal and happy life. I feel contented every night when I go to bed. I know that I'm using my social media the best with what I have, what I am right now. And the goal is not to be famous. And I feel that even if I have 2 million followers, I'm not going to be extra happy also. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is my answer.
Yeah, and if you ask me, I think Alvin, I didn't know how many thousand followers you had. I think you probably reach more people than those with 10,000 followers, even, right? If you just have an account and you're just posting photos of you wearing different clothes, and what is the influence and the impact that you're having?
Right.
So yeah, again,
It's the
very, very
quality that matters. Like one of the
correct.
things that Noah and I we share also, like we are doing this live show every Monday, and it can be 30 people watching, it can be 3,000, as long as one of you go home with an impact, with a solution that really helps you, that change or pivot your fitness journey. Our objective achieved. We are going to sleep happily because knowing that one of you
Yeah,
have a positive impact from our show. Not so much on the 3,000, but just one.
yeah.
Yeah. So quality over quantity all the time.
Great. Okay. We got a couple of questions on Instagram. I think we might be able to squeeze in this too. But I keep asking everybody, because if you don't get to answer it today, we can always answer it next week or throughout the week as well. This question comes from Summaries. Are pre-workout meals like oatmeal good before a workout? And how long should you wait before you work out after a meal? You want to take this one, Elvin?
Right? Pre-workout meals like oatmeals are great for a workout because they tend to be complex carbohydrates. It keep you full throughout, slow releasing of energy. And how long, it really depends on your body, your appetite. For me, generally an hour. If I were to eat oatmeal and then I go work out, I'm fine. How to know? I would say experiment. Some people need longer in terms of digestion to feel comfortable working out. Some might need lesser time. And I also like to add on, the type of meal can also adjusted or changed depending on the type of training you're doing. And this is more on a higher level. So for example, if you're doing a competition or you're running a marathon, you need immediate energy, then the choice of pre-workout meal would tend to be more of a simple carbohydrate like banana, because that's going to give you immediate energy and you need it immediately for your sports, for your training, for your competition. However, if you're on strength training, oatmeals are great options.
And how long should we wait before we work out? If, let's say we had a bowl of oatmeal, what would you recommend?
Generally, I would say an hour. Once again, see, experiment. Start with an hour. You feel like, oh, no, no. Next session, try an hour and a half. You would figure out what works best for you. For me,
Yeah.
would be about an hour. I find I adjust quite well with heavy meals.
Yeah, it's going to be about an hour. Alvin's right. What doesn't work is that, have you seen people walk into the gym and they're just eating that banana like literally 5 minutes before your workout? It's going to take longer than that for it to heat your digestive system and for your digestive system to carry the the carbs, the energy to your muscles. It takes some time. So you need an hour. Not going to get it immediately by eating. That's for sure. Awesome. One last question on Instagram, which we can take and possibly still finish by 10 p.m. This one again comes from Ruth. Does drinking 2 liters of water with chia seed in it, does it help? I think drinking 2 liters of water, I hope you're getting more water than that, Ruth. But I believe there's nothing wrong with consuming chia seed because people consume it in a smoothie as well. I don't think there's anything magic that's going to happen when you put the chia seed in the water. I do know that chia seed has a gelling kind of a feature. So that means like chia seed pudding. People make pudding because it's got the fiber in it. If anything, I know people drink it because they want to lose weight. They want to keep full, right? So they consume chia seeds. So my advice would be go ahead with it. It's absolutely nothing wrong. I'd rather you're drinking water with chia seed than all the other weird stuff out there. It's completely fine. Just be aware of the amount of chia seeds that you're putting in there because chia seed is got calories as well. If you're putting tablespoons and tablespoons of chia seeds, whoa, hang on, it's got some healthy fats in there as well. So that brings the calories up quite quickly. Just be aware of your portion. So check the label behind it. I can't remember offhand, but I do know it's got a pretty
100 gram is about 480 calories for 100 gram of chia seeds.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. 480.
Wow. There you go. So go easy on the chia seeds. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Perhaps another thing we can do is also alternate, chia seeds, and then perhaps certain days with lemon and certain days with maybe some tea leaves to add some flavor. And once again, just to add on to Noel's point, is as long as it helps you to drink more water, it's good. And having different variety is going to make you want to do more, add more creativity or variety differences in drinking water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. So to my friends on Instagram, keep the questions coming because we can still take note of that. How are we going to let them know? We should start wrapping up already because we have kind of like an hour limit. We don't want to get cut off abruptly. Any last words, Alvin? So here's how y'all get your prizes, by the way. If you all want the free classes to my live stream class, just send me a direct message. You all know who you are, all of y'all who asked the question. Send me a direct message. I'll remember you. I remember your names. And I will send you a link on how you can activate your 2 free classes. If you all want the e-learning courses from Alvin, send him a message as well, and he'll hook you up. If you want both, you send both of us a message. As simple as that, right? That's the best way to do it. Make sure you're following Alvin on Instagram if you're not already. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me as well. But Alvin needs the followers. No, he doesn't. But just now, Alvin, somebody on Instagram, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ruth. She said that, you have one more new follower now. So I think she went and hit follow
thank you.
on you there. So that's how you all get your gifts. I'm going to pass it over to Alvin for some final words because I think he has a few important things he wants to say.
So wait, there are questions coming in on Facebook. So we are going to answer your question next week. So remember to tune in. Once again, we invite those of you on Instagram, on Facebook to follow us on Facebook, because when you follow us on Facebook, you get notification when the live goes up. So you don't miss the live. And when you're on our live, we get to answer your question personally. Remember to also check back the Facebook live video because Noel and I are going to go back there to put on the links and resources and where you can get the tea that Noel is drinking. So check in the comment section of all the links that we're going to share in about 5 to 10 minutes after the show. Okay, with that being said, Noel and I wish you a happy week ahead. We thank you all for so many questions today. We are really, really enjoying it. And we wish you well and be safe.
Great.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, my friends.